smart.
Connie, how does anything get done without you checking everything?
That's the only reason why I'm up on this meeting.
She gets me every time. Once she didn't get me though. I did it once, right, Connie? All right. So
I don't recall, but
what? Come on, give me credit. So we've blown by 4 days here, folks. The last one being May 1st, kicking off the marketing, and June 1st kicking off the enrollment. So here's where our priorities are and our action items, and we need to get this done. Number one, Benistar Solutions GERBS agreement is done and signed. Number two, the Anthem Solutions or GERBS, Solutions, our short name agreement is in process. We're waiting on Benistar for the revisions and addendums. And this delays the kickoff dates and marketing dates and everything else here, website redesign, webinar, blah, blah. So we need to set the marketing campaign date, the webinar date, the website revision, and we really need to, and to do that, we've already done one agreement, but we need to finish the other one and finalize that, and then go. Let's get it done. Can't have any more delays. We got to.
So before we talk about the marketing and all that other stuff, it was my understanding that, and I could be wrong, that Benistar on our side, we're waiting for some documents back from you guys. But Glenn or Don, can you address that?
We are not waiting on any documents from them.
We did all our revisions and amendments, Ed and I, and we sent them in, and we're waiting for you guys to get back to us.
That is correct.
With the addendum, with the changes we made in the language, with the addendums, which include the options, the rates, and the evidence of coverage statement in the addendums. We cannot sign anything until, and Ed is our lawyer and tells us this, without that complete document, we cannot sign it. Right, Ed?
No, that's right. I think Don knows what we need back. I think we've agreed to most of the language. We just need the final addenda, and then we can, assuming there's no changes since we last spoke, we should be able to move pretty quick.
Yeah, so the gating, the time gating thing, just to take the mystery out of it, is just we requested some slight changes in benefits that include changes in reducing the primary copay from 25 to 15 and a handful of other items. But we requested those changes, which are consistent with prior discussions we've had, but are equally outlined in the last
So when are we going to get it? That's what I want to know.
I don't have them back yet, so I don't know. They've had them for a little more than a week, or about a week. I don't know if it's more about a week. So I would expect any day now. I've had a couple of conversations about it. I don't like it's a big deal, but I'm waiting for it to come back. So as soon as it is, I will put it in the single thing so that you can sign the entirety of it. I don't expect it to be materially changing.
I can barely hear you. I don't know if it's me or is it?
No, it's him.
Oh, okay.
You're having trouble hearing me? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Now it's better.
You went away.
Yeah, you were in Hawaii or something. That's it.
Well, I was in Puerto Rico last week, but no,
No wonder.
I haven't been in Hawaii recently. So
What's that country we're trying to avoid, Ed? Ed, what's that country we're trying to avoid?
Afghanistan.
Bermuda.
Yeah.
China.
If you were in Bermuda, I'd have some questions for you.
Why are we trying to avoid Bermuda?
Never mind. I really don't want to get. That's another topic. Believe me.
It's a long story. We're not trying to. Bermuda's a perfectly fine place to go for a vacation.
Well, what I can tell you about Puerto Rico is a lot more buttoned up than you might expect. They just to get in the country, you had to show proof of a negative test within 72 hours. They had a mask mandate. They had a police enforced curfew at 9 o'clock, which meant everyone had to leave wherever they were, including common areas of my own hotel at 8:20. So
Wow.
I was like, huh, who would have thought?
Yeah.
In
That
any
was last week.
That was just last week. They lifted it, I think, on the 9th. So was that Sunday? I think they lifted it, but I was already back. So in any case, my expectation is this is like a Monday thing that we'll have this back. And there's nothing materially different out of those benefit changes and the rate pieces. I've been through the documents. The documents are fine. I went through even a couple of your observations, John. So I think that part's in good order.
Okay.
So, all right, so hopefully by the end of the day, Monday or Tuesday, the paperwork, the agreements, the addendums, the rates, all that'll be done?
Well, it's not that it'll be done. It'll just be shipped back to John and Ed. So they can.
No, that's what I meant. That John and Ed will get eyes on it so that they can approve it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, if it's along the lines of our last conversation, Don, and the not material changes, we'll turn it around right away.
okay. Fabulous.
Okay, so let's assume that the paperwork's done early next week.
Yeah.
What's next? Marketing, webinar? What do we want to talk about? You want Paul to take the floor?
Let me, once we get it back, the board wants one other stipulation. They want to see it themselves, not just Ed and I. mean, Ed and I'll be the one signing it, but, and Ed will legally look it over, but the board wants to see it. So as soon as I get it, I'll send it to the board and ask for an email confirmation that it's okay to go, just so you know that. So I'm saying, if I get it back Monday, then everything should be signed probably by Wednesday, if it meets all the requirements of Ed, me, and the board. Okay, so we know that. So let's say Wednesday. Let's use Wednesday as a tentative date to get that piece number 2 done, right? Everybody okay with that?
Amen.
Okay. Now we can move on to the marketing campaign date. When are we gonna, if we sign it Wednesday, when will we start the marketing campaign and the website revision?
I think those have already been started in some sense. I mean, I don't know if you're.
Well, we had that meeting on March 10th, and I sent that to you guys to look it over. I think I concluded, Paul. We did a lot of talking that day about the marketing, and we did a lot of talk about the website revision. Paul showed us a mock deal there, a mock website, or put it up for us to look at. And but we didn't set any dates. The thing I'm saying is I want dates. I want dates. I want dates.
Right. So I just so you're clear on the date thing, I don't know if there's an event or some action that you're looking for, but in terms of website revisions, development of the marketing efforts themselves, those things are already underway. We've already had meetings about them. We've already started to evaluate how we gather and utilize data and how we begin to communicate with the people that we're intending to approach, et cetera. So maybe just define what you have in mind in terms of a date.
Well, you're saying it's all in process and all that. I'm saying, okay, we've discussed in link marketing, and I gave you my outline. We've discussed with Paul what he's going to do, and intensive discussion on 310. The website, he showed us what he had done on his, wherever he's keeping it. We talked about SiteGround. So I'm saying, okay, listen, we've talked this to death. What's the date we're going to kick off this marketing campaign? What's the date that you're going to say to me, John, we're ready to go to SiteGround and put this site up? What is the date? Now, it's in process. What's the date?
So Don, I'll just jump in. So I mean, so once I get a green light, thumbs up from Don and the Bossy team, It's only 2 or 3 days before the site's up. So we've already gone through your site. I've already analyzed what it would take to carry over to the new site.
Yeah.
And I say, John, what we do is we run the 2 sites in parallel for 1 to 2 weeks, just to get you familiar with the new site.
Yep.
And then once you're ready to go, then we can start communicating to members regarding the new site and take it from there. So for example, if we are done from a contractual standpoint on, let's say, Monday, Tuesday, then I'd say by the end of next week, you should have the new site. And then the following week, we could work with you to test it out, work in parallel, getting you in the new platform. And then maybe expect a member communication back to members by like June 7th, something like that. Or by June 4th, something like that.
So June 4th, you're saying is we're moving to what? The webinar, or what do you, when you're saying the communication?
I'd say that'll be the main, the new site, like your website would change, the membership platform would change. And as far as webinars and stuff like that, that would be embedded inside of the site. So so Glenn and Don, who's doing the webinar as far as the the video? Because if we need help with the video, I could have Cody and the production team help you guys just doing the a webinar video.
Yeah, so 2 things about that in terms of the webinar. I don't know what we're talking about there, so so let me start with that. But to the extent that we're doing a webinar that includes existing people that have an awareness, in other words, this isn't like we've marketed to them, but this is just people who already exist in the ecosystem of the retiree solutions.
My idea is that I gave you a list of possibilities, 120 people, plus we do the invitation by our email distribution list on our Facebook group, and we try to get as many members as we possibly could at this webinar to hear about what is this new healthcare group plan that we're talking about. What is it? What are the facets of it? What does it include? What are the benefits? What are the options? What are the rates? Question and answer for the members. That's going to be our first stab at getting this out there in a bigger way.
Hey, John, can I just ask you real quick? So is the idea for the webinar to promote the benefit plan, or is it to promote the GE retirement membership, or is it to promote both?
Don't answer that, John. So that's what I was trying to get to, Paul. I have a suggestion. If you are going to do this initially, what I was saying is you have this ecosystem of people who are already early disciples, or they're already supporters, right? I think it would make sense to just have them, to say, hey, look, thanks for your patience, thanks for your support over this time. We want to introduce what we've done, and in that initial thing, you could introduce the new website. We can talk a little bit about what we're doing, et cetera. It has nothing to do with selling them anything, but just saying, look, this is available. Thanks for your patience. You see what we're doing, et cetera. And the reason I would do that is that those people, as early disciples, will talk to other people. They'll talk to 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 other people, and we won't be in the selling you on a benefit business. We'll be in the, this is what we're doing, here's our mission, that sort of thing.
Hey, Don, just to add to that, why don't we use this webinar or this promotional video as like because we've already been crawling. Why don't we use this as a test base for getting people to join the membership stack, So we could promote this through, the thousands of contacts we've already found.
I think that's a great idea, but I think that's a second sort. So I'm thinking that, the smaller, tighter group of 100, whatever it is, just to have them introduced, so they're getting a sneak peek of what we've done, et cetera.
Maybe use it as a test case.
Yeah, and they're on board, and then if they raise hands and go like, well, what about this? What about that? We'll be able to do it, sort of early on, and then I think we could do what you're suggesting,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
to invite people in, show a bit, all of that sort of stuff.
got it. Yeah,
What do you
John,
think
so,
about that, John?
Yeah,
so maybe looking at like two productions, like one for the, a small set of the subscribers that you currently have.
right.
And then one which would be like a, reiteration of that, plus a broader, webinar production for people to join the membership program.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down. Yeah.
And hey, Don, so we looked today, we probably have around 7,000 contacts now.
Okay.
So John, that was the point I was saying, is that a lot of this stuff has been sort of underway in the background. But to your point about having a date, I think if we announce a date for, the kickoff gala or whatever, it should be just the people who are, already part of the membership team, and for the board to take a bow, say, hey, this is what we've done so far. These are our plans, et cetera. And then maybe schedule a follow-on piece where we're inviting a bigger population, to the extent that we have, I guess, email contacts, Paul.
Yeah. We have 7,000 contacts, probably 40 to 60% of them we have the full contact base, so including emails.
So for those folks, I think we could do a nice, I'm not saying we're using constant contact, but whatever, we use something where
Yeah.
we invite them to, to maybe a week later or something, the initial introduction of the actual benefits.
So
Okay.
when do you want to have that initial one done? So if we have the system going by like June 4th, do you want to have a webinar available for like June 7th or that week for the initial 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And then,
one, we got to put a notice out to these people. And
Yeah.
so, if we're saying we're going to, let's see, June 4th, June 7th be a little too tight, because the retirees don't open their emails all that quickly, believe me. So I would say let's shoot for, well, that's normally our board meeting, but we could skip it, but push it back. June 10th. How about June 10th?
yeah, that's cool. So June 10th, we do a system release with a intro webinar once they get into the system. So once they log in, they'll have that pop up for them to watch and learn.
Yep.
And then let's say the second run would be something like June 24th, for the bigger pool of people to try to get new members.
Okay. What did I'm trying to write notes here, and so we're saying Wednesday, which is, let me go back a month here on my calendar. Wednesday, 5/19 would be the policy agreement, at least to us for review. 5/21, the signing of it or the approval, and again, I push that out a little bit because I got to get the board. And then the website, 6/4, the webinar 6/10, and then we'll decide after that about a second webinar, what the date will be and how we're going to construct it, right? But these are these considered, the webinar, is it considered, you're saying let's stick to the first ones that showed an issue or an interest, I mean. Is this like an enrollment for them or just an information?
No, information. I want to make sure that we are specifically not soliciting or doing any selling on it.
Okay, it's strictly an informational webinar.
Information, etc. We can explicitly tell them that we will be sending them information if they have an interest and they want to enroll and all that sort of stuff. But I'd like to avoid it so we can just say it has nothing to do with soliciting anyone, just introducing what we've done.
Okay.
For people that already exist and are members today.
So once we do the webinar and we've had those 120 and they express an interest shortly, hopefully after that, that's when you will actually start to work on enrollment.
Yeah, and my thought is that if people say that there should be a way that if you express an interest, that you can take an action from that. So, whether that's, make a call, download an app, whatever it might be, you can do that. But again, the point of it is just to introduce it, not to.
Well, and that kind of ties it into, you said, do you want to have Paul say something about the website? And if there's interest and they want to go to this page, Paul, say that they could
Yeah.
fill in the information so we can move forward to enrollment pretty quickly. Or I don't want to say.
Yeah, we could make it even so easy to the point of they watch a video, and then after the video it says, thanks for watching the video. Step 1, click here. And they press a button, and then an enrollment, like information comes up. Then it says, once they scroll through, another button pop-up will come up and say, step 2, pick your plan, something like that. I mean, we can do all that. So that's pretty easy stuff.
Okay, but I'm just saying, as we say this, as they express interest, that's where we will, this is an informational webinar. We will inform them that there will be a process to do this through our newly designed website.
Yeah. You just have to let us know how hard you want us to push to get them to click a button.
I want you to use a hammer.
Consider my very large hammer in use. So.
Yeah,
We
so
need
I
revenue.
want to be careful with that, just Paul, more than John, on these people who are already part of your membership. I want to be very soft about how we're introducing it. If they want to do something, they do it, but we are not selling it. They're already your member. We've introduced the program, we encourage them to look at it, but we're not trying to. The last thing you want to do is have people, go like, oh, damn it, they're like soliciting me again.
Yeah, pushing me.
Well, but there's no harm. There's no harm in presenting the information and saying, go look at the website and go look at this certain specific Benistar related information page or whatever. I don't see any problem with that. Do you?
Nope.
Okay. Because I mean, that's what we do. If we say we send out something on a fundraising and an email, we say, go to the fundraising page and choose your option. Yeah, Bob. You got to unmute yourself, Bob. You're muted. Bob, you're muted.
It's that desert heat getting to Bob in the background. Bob, you're on mute. Can we unmute him for him?
No, there you go.
Sorry.
All right, go ahead, Bob.
I thought I clicked it, but it didn't do it. We're going to have some new things that we'll be offering through this new website, right? New things to sign up for, or discounts and different things that we talked about before.
Yeah, but you know what he's talking about, Paul, that perks thing, which you were going to send me that, I forget the name of the company, but you were going to send me something about that extra perks.
Oh, yeah, Benedy. So
Benedict. I wrote something like veracity or something.
yeah. I'll get it to you.
So to me, getting people introduced to this new website is a challenge in itself. So I think I agree with Don about don't be trying to sell something that they introduce them to the website. See,
Yeah. It's just an
get them
intro.
familiar with it so they can get on there and sign up for stuff.
Yeah,
That's my thought.
They need to have some background on how to use the website, and then, but we're going to run it concurrent with our website for a little bit, so they aren't going to be like disconnected.
Yeah.
But eventually, then they will go to that page to enroll or whatever.
Yeah, you guys saw in the portal those big buttons. So I mean, it's gonna be simple. I mean, they just have to press a button. So
Yeah. That button ejects Don from the meeting. Is that what it does?
yeah, right.
Paul, hey, Paul.
Yeah.
You're gonna let them know on the existing website that there will be a transition and there's going to be a tutorial, and we're not just going to switch it one day and not tell anybody.
No.
Notification. Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's the same way they log into the current one. We'll just use their, password and log in for the next one, and the link it'll just be your link on your current website. We'll start with them logging into the back end. So they won't even see the new website yet. Okay, so they'll go to the current website, they'll see the link to, they'll just see the link to log in, and it'll go to the new site. And they'll be like, wow, look at that. You know, what happened here? They,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is magical. So then they'll go get excited there. They'll see the video, and then, you know, a week later, we'll update the website. So it's not shocking them with all this new stuff, you know?
Well, I kind of understood that and I kind of didn't. Now, they're gonna log in, they're gonna see the old website, but that's gonna
Well,
be,
when they go to your website now, there's a login link. So
yeah,
we're just going to change that link. We're going to point it to the new system, and then they're going to enter and they'll get into the new system. So they won't even know what happened. They'll just see that everything changed. They'll say, wow, look at this. We have big buttons now. We could just press a button and wow, what's this video that pops up? So then a video will just come up and say, you know, we've done this. So I would send an email letting everyone know that this is what's coming. And just know there's going to be an intro video when you log into the site by this date. So when they log in, they'll see the intro video, you know? So we'll write you out kind of a script, a step-by-step of like what we recommend. And then, yeah, I think it's pretty easy. So, and then like a week later, the website will change. And then, because we don't want them to go like, oh, this isn't what I remember. This whole thing has changed.
yeah, exactly.
You
That's
know?
the
So,
problem.
yeah, let them go to the login first, see the video that's going to explain that the website's going to change in a week.
Okay, now I'm getting
know,
what you're
yeah.
saying. Now I'm getting what you're, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're gonna put up a video about Benistar and then they're gonna say,
No,
what the
no,
hell
no,
is
no,
this?
no. It'll be a video about for you guys. So,
All right, I got you now. I got you.
yeah. And then
I'm
a
just
week
scared.
later, we'll update the website. And then now you'll have the front end and back end that'll be updated.
Okay, okay.
So,
Did Brian never made it on. Connie, you on? Or did Connie have to go?
I think Connie's there. She just walked out of a screen.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that everybody that's here, we didn't invite the whole board because too many meetings for everybody. So now, okay, so I'm just gonna do this again, but I got 519, we'll get the policy back, 521 and get all the approvals. Sign it, Ed and I look it over, the board gets a chance to, if Ed and I say everything looks good, the board approval should have it back 521. Website will be ready 624. The webinar, we're saying 610. Paul, you're gonna have all the stuff ready to do your magic on the conversion. We won't convert, we'll give them time, like you said, and then what, a week or 2 weeks, I think we said, we'll go to the new
Yeah,
website.
to the mass market. Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll get into the second webinar. We'll announce a date for second webinar and open it up to that big list that
Yeah.
you guys got, right?
Yeah, perfect. So,
That's
yeah,
all
by
right?
like,
What do you
Yeah.
think, Ed? Ed, you're muted.
I think I'm muted. No, I think it's good. I think it's good.
Bob's laughing. Bob's laughing at you, Ed. That ain't
I
right.
know, I had to mute because I had some kid activity in the other room.
Ah, some noise.
So, no, I think it's good. I think it all comes down to, I think the transition of the website's a good idea. I think it makes sense to go to the existing group first and then to roll it out once people kind of who already are familiar with it know about it, because they will get questions.
Right.
And then the only question I have is for the other folks that you mentioned, Paul, the thousands of people that you have information from, you know, they're all GE retirees, right?
yeah, that's correct.
So that's already been validated. Okay, so then,
Yeah.
yeah, and then what type of approach are you going to make to them? Just saying, hey, you know, we've developed this program, or we're interested in showing it to you. What
Yeah.
do you
so
have
we're
in
gonna-
mind in terms of what you're going to say to them?
Well, we're still scripting that, but kind of a multifaceted approach. You know, one, they are currently in, some of them are currently in social media sites like Facebook groups and stuff like that. So we're gonna attack those groups. We could essentially do targeted marketing to those groups, and within those groups, we already have resources that are members of the groups with people thinking we're GE members ourselves. So we're in those groups. In addition to that, we have their direct emails and text their phone numbers. So we'll hit them from like 3-4 angles. So to start promoting this, the new platform and benefits provided by it.
Yeah, and just to supplement that, not to be the Debbie Downer on the call, but there are some compliance things we got to check the box on. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Are there any opt-in requirements that you have to do before they?
Yeah, there's some. There's some. Obviously, we're going to leverage all of the exemptions we can for the group activities, but still, having said that, essentially you need about a 60-day runway before you can make someone effective, and then as part of that process, there's some opt-outs that are mandated, and there's some things that we're gonna have to bake into kind of disclosure level stuff in that second step where we're inviting people to the to the I'm trying to get away from calling it a sales activity, information
Right.
and launching sort of activity. So, and the reason I'm being so careful about this is that there's a difference between educational activities and solicitation.
Right.
So you just,
Right.
so it's important for us, but it's also important for you. You don't want Bob to be in the position where he's soliciting someone as an unlicensed person. He's a board member informing them about their rights and the things that are available to them. He is not,
Right, but some of those people won't even be members of the association.
Correct. So you can certainly solicit that. No problem there. Please join this. Look at the wonderful things we have available and that sort of thing. So we just have to be careful about how we're doing that. So that I just want to make sure we're.
And that's the other thing that before we put Ed on, we had another law firm and they said you absolutely have to have on your benefits page a disclaimer saying that you're not responsible for their choices, that kind of language, you know what I'm saying? If you've read our disclaimer on our benefits page, that was written by a lawyer. We put it on there. So that's part of the, like you said, it's part of us. We're not the solicitor. We're not the ones holding the insurance company or, the group designee.
We can't sell this, John. We're not licensed to sell this.
Yeah.
Right.
So in the first one, so again, I'm just reviewing here. We're talking just an informational introduction type webinar. It'll say some stuff about the new website, and it'll say something about the new things we have to offer, which includes Benistar and the group health care and all that jazz. Right? And then the second one will be more specific. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the second one, what they were describing, John, was going to be more of a push to get more members and more people to sign up. So that's the one where we got to bake in a little bit of time just to make sure that we have a look at, what's going out and making sure that it doesn't create any issues for your group.
Yeah.
To the extent they're reaching people outside of the group. If it's within, it's one thing. If it's outside, I just don't want the blowback to go to you.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ed. That's a good point. And certain, as much as I think we're the most loved retiree group out there, there are some other people that disagree with some of our stuff.
Yeah, and to Paul's point, we're tweaking that. We'll have some messaging to be considered, but like one of the things that we can push. I mean, I don't want to say as hard as you want, but we can push, quite a bit. Is hey, join the organization, and then once you're in the organization, that's.
Yeah, I think that's Don. I think that's right. As long as you give them the ability to say, "I don't want you to contact me anymore."
Right. That's right.
Opt out. Yeah. Now on that first group, I want to be clear on this. Now, we want to stay within the group, but do you want to stay to the 120 or do you want to stay to the membership of our formal website? Those people that are signed up there, do you want to invite all of them or just the 120?
Whichever is the bigger group, if they're current members, then that's fine.
Well, as I've said plenty times in the past. We have 2,500 on Facebook. We have 703 on the formal website that actually subscribed or registered. All right, so I would
think
go with
I
that.
think the 703, John, just to be clear, I think the 703 is fine. The Facebook, if they're not actually
Yeah, I
part
wouldn't.
of the
No, I wouldn't do
organization,
it.
I'd keep that separate.
Right. I won't do it there. But I just wanted to clarify between 120 and 703. I'd go with the 703. And yeah, out of that, there's 120 that already expressed an interest. That's my point. Okay. That sound right? Sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So we'll stick with that then. All right. And, oh, and Glenn, by the way, sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, anybody, Connie, do you have any questions? Bob, Ed, you satisfied?
Yeah, I like what's going on. We just got to make sure we don't do any selling because they'll come after me. I'm an easy target.
Well,
I've
we'll
left
part
the
of
record
what-
of
put
having a
your face
license.
on the webinar, Bob. So, just keep moving your lips while everybody's talking.
Part of what we promote on this in the portal and the unhosted video and all the information is for them to call into the Benistar call center and continue to ask questions, pre-enrollment questions, etc. And our team is licensed and they can go through benefits with people. They can do formulary lookups to check on scripts, etc., etc. So the portal is informational, tells them about what's going on, the plans, the benefits, how to enroll, but we really accentuate the fact that call and speak to one of our people for additional information and continue to ask questions and gain more information.
Now, let me ask this question because it's been asked many times of us and a couple board members, one that left Charlie, but Connie. If they call into that number, Glenn, and they say, I want to know how this compares to my plan in right now or my Medicare Advantage right now. They will get those answers when they call in?
Yes, we will. Our CSRs will have the new plans up on their screens. And if, again, people know their enforced benefits, what their copays are, etc., that can all be addressed and walked through.
Right. Because I would think they would want to do that. They want to compare. I mean, that was important to at least a couple of us on the board. And I think it'll be important to a number of other people. Hey, this is what I got. And this would tell me what you're offering me in this plan. How does it compare to my plan? I think that's important.
It's very common. We host events, we enroll people year round, and oftentimes they're coming from existing individual plans or it's a takeover of an enforced group plan. So that's very common that people say, I have this today or I had this last week. Tell me how it compares.
Right. Glenn, just away from this agenda for a little bit, but I sent you a few emails with people that have expressed interest or had questions. You did get those, right? You have those?
I did, yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Because they're prospects, obviously. They're prospects. They want to know. Some are urgent, but I tried to explain to them that, listen, this is a group plan. You can switch over at any time. It isn't just open enrollment and all that kind of stuff, They understand.
Yeah, anybody with questions, we want to get them to call that number because questions are how you sell policies. Take my 2,500 sales classes I went to.
Agreed.
That's right.
John,
That's right.
John,
Nobody buys insurance. It's sold.
Yeah, and you can have Ed just put a little securities like disclaimer at the bottom. That website doesn't constitute an offer to sell or solicitation of an
That's what
offer.
I'm talking about, a disclaimer. Exactly.
We'll disclaim everything.
But put Bob put Bob's picture as the avatar on that, Paul.
Yeah.
I thought you said you wanted to sell something.
Hey, John, don't give me ideas.
Guys, all look out for me now.
John, you had mentioned in one of your emails recently, either a meeting or a Zoom call you're attending with GE management. I was just curious if anything about this initiative was part of that conversation, or?
Yeah, I brought it up at the spring meeting, April 23rd. I also brought it up to the GE Board of Directors for the annual share owners meeting, that we're looking at alternative healthcare plans, and we would like GE to allow us to manage an alternative healthcare plan outside of VIA, manage the RRA, manage the whole healthcare plan and everything, all the specific. I haven't gotten any answer. I sent it to Kevin Cox. I've sent it to the board of directors. I brought it up at the spring meeting. I'm sure they're talking about it, but whether they're going to get back and let me know, I probably have to get a hold of Kevin Cox directly and ask him for a straight out answer. Listen, I've been up front and forward with them, transparent on everything. We're not trying to do anything behind the scenes. I would like you to do the same with me. Be transparent and open and straightforward with me.
Yeah, why don't we get through our test program and our piloting and have everybody get happy and warm and comfortable with that, and then you can do the full court press, you know?
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things I did say in that letter and things is that, I know G is going to probably want to see some evidence of, we're making progress, we're succeeding with our effort, and then it'll give us data to give to them. I know that.
Yeah, they'll want to see proof of life first.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. They aren't going to just go on because I say it's going to succeed, that I have no evidence to back that they aren't going to.
Listen, the first time I ever went out of the insurance on my own was a cold call. Cold.
Cold call?
Sold 2 policies.
Did you get cold cocked?
That woman told me, she said, I want to thank you so much for coming today. You must be the best salesman in the world. I wasn't going to buy nothing, and now I got 2 policies and I'm happy with them.
Well, they were your parents, so they should have signed up. Come on.
I was about 7 foot tall for a day.
It was an 8-year-old boy. Hey, Glenn, I think you're right. Put his picture on there. Paul, make an avatar.
Consider it done.
Hey, listen, don't listen. Come on, guys. This is hard stuff. Even a clock that's broken is right twice a day.
Oh boy, I tell you. All right, so I think we pretty much.
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Right. All right, guys. We'll send you some details regarding the like a summary step-by-step process, and then we'll go from there. So once I get the green light from Don, you shall have a system.
Get us that policy, Don, with the revisions and the addenda. No more delays, right? Don, hello. What do you do? Pass out?
Yeah, Don. Bye, boys.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Talk soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
You guys, thanks.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Connie.
There he
She's
is.
there.
He just
Bye.
came back. Yeah. All right, Connie, you going off? You guys all going off?
Well, unless you want us to stay on.
No, well, I think I'm happy with the results. So now they just got to fulfill the dates, right? Got to get it done.
Sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
everything
Okay.
sounds good to me.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's good. We'll end it then. Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Connie, you need anything, let me know, all right? Oh, she's gone. Okay.
I got another meeting later.
All right. See you later, Bob.
Bye.
Come on, get to the button there. There it is.